Hey guys, so this is my Nintendo 3DS for those who haven't seen it yet. Um, it's basically Nintendo's most recent handheld system. I know they've made like the 3DS XL and more updated versions of the system, but this is for the most part their latest system because there isn't a 3DS XL exclusive titles. Um, basically 3DS and 3DS XL play the same kind of games. But as far as just like the DS and the Game Boy Advance, the 3DS plays its own games. It's the most current handheld system to only play those games, so there's not a system beyond that quite yet. What's cool about the 3DS, you guys, these are just some features I've toyed around with since I've owned one. I know I'm 2 years late at getting one, but these are my thoughts as of far as me getting the system, which was actually June of 2013 when I got mine. Um, so this isn't my first day owning it. I've owned it for a while now. I've played around with a lot of the features. I've played around with some games that, or at least some games that come with the system when you first buy it, and some downloads and a game that I bought. Some features that what the system offers. So first off, we have a camera lens and a video lens. So you can, take photos, 3D photos specifically also, since it is a 3D system. And I guess there's a video feature on here, which I haven't toyed around with, but there is like video playback features I've had on here. I think there's even a video it comes with when you first, turn it on and, set up your account with the 3DS system. Your settings and everything. I think it was like a dinosaur office cartoon or something like that. But there is a channel you can download off the Nintendo eShop, which is kind of their virtual console shop for those who remember that from the Wii system, where you can download features and games and stuff. So you can watch a ton more videos on here of things on that channel, that downloadable channel. For the inside of the system, when you open it up, there's a 3D slider right here. I actually talked about this back when I did my observation video for the system. So this slider, it's like the further up you go, the more 3D effect it'll have on the game. So like if you want full blown 3D, the most the system can give you as far as 3D goes, you'll want it all the way up because that's about as much 3D the game can do. And if you don't want it on at all, you slide it all the way down like that. It even says off. For those who can see that, it says off when it's all the way off. And it just plays it in a 2D style. Basically any other game, like for the Wii and everything, it would play out just like that. But if you want a little bit of 3D, like I sometimes do, you can just go right in the middle, just like that, and it'll play, kind of this middle ground of 2D and a little bit of 3D, but not the most 3D the system can offer you. Um, A, B, Y, and X are back. There's actually an analog stick with this one. I think that's the first time Nintendo has done that with one of their handhelds, so I'm actually glad they did that because it almost has a Wii and a Wii U feeling to it now. Of course, the control pad's back. Start and select buttons are back, but they're placed like that. The power button's right there. What's unique about this one is there's something called Street Pass. And I know a lot of you who own a 3DS probably already know about this. Um, Basically, like if your system is on or if it's on sleep mode and you walk by someone who has a 3DS while it's in your pocket, basically any game that has Street Pass unlockables will happen now. Now that you, and depending on like if you pass a ton of people that have a 3DS, so like if you take your 3DS to like E3 or a place where a lot of 3DS systems are on, you're gonna unlock a ton of stuff in your games just because you've past a ton of people who also have 3DS systems. I think you can also see their Mii's through a Mii feature on here. And if for those who don't know who Mii's are, they're like little customizable profile avatars you can make for both the Wii and the 3DS, and I believe the Wii U also. Um, there's a home button on this one, kind of like the Wii system. That allows you to go back to the main menu and choose another game, choose another feature for the 3DS that you want to explore. So it's kind of nice that the 3DS has that, kind of like what the Wii had back when that came out. Um, there's L and R buttons up here. Yes, that's my copy of Super Mario 3D Land right there. Um, so L and R buttons. They can also help you take pictures, like I was explaining before. There's a camera lens feature on here for 3D photography. The L and the R buttons can also take the picture. I think it can also do the A button when you're on an actual camera mode in this system. Um, So it's a very nice feature. And like I said, the coolest part about this is not only can it take photos, it can take 3D photos. So you can see what those photos look like in 3D, like in a digital 3D movie. Um, so yeah, there's a ton of features in this system, you guys. And what I like about this current generation of handheld gaming is a lot of like the big name titles for the Wii U, like Super Smash Bros. 4, Batman Arkham Origins. All of those are going to be for the 3DS also. So if you don't have a Wii U yet, I like that. You know, not every Wii U title is going to have a 3DS version also, but like the fact that some of the really, really big titles like Super Mario 3D World, which is coming out for the Wii U soon, there's Super Mario, 3D Land for the 3DS. So there's just a ton of titles on here that show just how graphically powerful this handheld system is, and I like that Nintendo's saying, "Oh, well, if you don't have a Wii U, you can't play this game." Well, that's not the case with the 3DS. You can get a 3DS version of it, and it almost plays out like a Wii game would. And of course, the Wii U version is obviously going to be a million times more. For those who've seen the Wii U, it does very much have like a very well done high definition look to it for those who've seen that system with their games. This is what the stylus looks like. Um, I'm kind of shocked that there isn't a lot of touchscreen features with this. They kind of kept that the same with the DS back when that came out. It plays fine. Um, Nothing. It's not really. It's responsive enough that there's no complaints about it. Um, I'm fine with what they did. I think it would have been cooler though if they came up with like a touchscreen feature that we didn't get on the DS. I think that would have been kind of cool. I think the DS had this also, but the 3DS, at least from what I played so far, was Super Mario 3D Land and some other titles. This is actually a microphone feature. For those who can see that right there, so that black hole right there, that's a mic you can blow into that. And what it'll do, like if you're playing Super Mario 3D Land and you see some dandelions in like the grass field you're in, is you can blow into that and on the little mic that I just showed you, and those dandelions will part just like they would in real life. And so there's kind of a three-dimensional, almost breaking of the fourth wall element to some games because of that microphone feature. So I think that's really cool. I know the DS had that, but in my opinion, I think the 3DS's microphone feature, whenever used for a game, it feels a little bit more responsive. So I think Nintendo did a good job with that. Um, What's cool about the eShop with this one too is I know there was a DSi at one point. You can download stuff for your DS, but with the 3DS, kind of like what the Wii did with Virtual Console, the 3DS also has its own Virtual Console, so you can download classic Game Boy games, classic Game Gear games from Sega. Remember the Game Gear? You can download NES games just like you could for the Wii. So there's a ton of stuff on this system that almost is like a portable Wii system, just because it's so more customizable than any of Nintendo's previous handhelds. Um, I think it's kind of cool too that some of the downloadable content is very much like handheld gaming exclusive, kind of like Game Boy titles, Game Boy Color titles, Game Gear titles. It kind of it feels more appropriate to have that for a 3DS, I think, than a Wii. Because like, really, would you really want to play like a small box game on your big screen TV for a Wii or a Wii U system? I think it's a little bit more appropriate for a 3DS. I'm glad Nintendo went that route with their 3DS Virtual Console. Um, I think I talked about the stylus a little bit, but this is the stylus that it comes with. And what's cool about this one is it can shrink and you can make it tall like what I just did here. I usually play it with tall because if it's really tiny, it's like, oh, I want to tap this, and it's just kind of not as responsive. So stylus, really no complaints. I only got one of them with this system though, and with the DS, I actually got two because there's I can actually show you here. So this right here is where the stylus goes. Because I have it so big, obviously it's not going to fit in there. Um, but yeah, you can store your stylus there. So you almost have to look for it first. But yep, it comes out right out just like that. So I know I've been just talking about the system, but I think the 3DS is great, you guys. I'm actually really glad I got one. I'm actually pretty shocked that I waited so long to get one. Um, I think it's a great system. I think there's a lot of interesting titles for it. In my opinion, I think there's even some more interesting titles for it right now, at least as of right now in 2013, than there is for the Wii U. There's just a ton of great and interesting titles on here that really explore the 3D and the microphone feature and the touchscreen features that we remember from the DS, and it takes it to the next level. Um, It's a great system, you guys. I think it's a lot of fun. If you buy one, you will not have any regrets. It's a great system. There's a ton of games for it right now. There's going to be even more games for it. And I love that Nintendo's going to port both Super Smash Bros. 4 for both the 3DS and the Wii U. I think that's awesome that they're doing that. It once again shows that they care about their gamers. They care about their handheld universe and their console universe equally. I think that's great. Um, so I love the 3DS, you guys. I hope for those who don't have one yet, you should get one. It's very fun. There's a ton of great games for it. Like I said, I'm really glad that they made a system that can almost compete with a console, just because it has so many advanced features on it and the graphics are so well done. So 3DS, guys, it's a great system. I'm glad I have one. Hoping to get more games for it. Ton of fun. Like I said, there is a 3DS XL, which is just basically a bigger version of this. And I think the screens are bigger for that one, but you can see here the screen is already pretty big for this 3DS as it is, the regular one. Um, so I love the 3DS, you guys. Hope you guys get one too. For those who already have one, I hope you enjoy yours also. And feel free to leave a comment if you like this video, if you didn't like it. If there's a feature of the 3DS I didn't talk about here that I should have talked about, or if you have any questions about the 3DS, I'll try to answer them the best I can for you. But anyway, guys, I love the 3DS, and I hope all of you get one too.